Welcome back to the James Rambling Reviews. So I'll just give you a quick reaction. I went to see the new Odyssey movie earlier today. It came out fairly recently, right enough, and what I'll be honest about is this is the new rebranded version of the Cineworld that I would always go to in the Glasgow city centre. And because it shut down, obviously I had to go to a different cinema that was always also in the Glasgow city centre. But I finally been able to see and experience the new version of the same Cineworld, but it's called Omniplex, which is an Irish brand of cinema brand. So that's a fun fact for you. And if you want to know about me with the Odyssey and Christopher Nolan, is that I have actually read the Odyssey. I can't remember if I even finished the book right, but I do remember reading the poem in school and we analysed it and we discussed about it in the classroom and things. I remember things like that. And I remember there was something interesting about the Greek mythology and how it was a big epic story. There was this guy called Odysseus and he travelled and he met all these people and battles and monsters, all that, right? And what I'll say is as well that with Christopher Nolan's kind of movies, I will be honest that I haven't seen his whole catalogue. It's not a director where I'm like, oh man, that's my top director of all time, the best director in the universe. I've never really got that into his work in general, but I did like the Dark Knight trilogy. I have to say that the first two Dark Knight movies, like the Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, I loved those, but the third one was alright. But then I'll say as well the Oppenheimer one, I did a review about it a few years ago, and I remember that movie was quite long, but I didn't hate the film. I enjoyed the acting and things like that, but the movie was on for like 3 hours, and it's like, oh, that's a bit long for me. And so I've had an experience with Christopher Nolan's movies. I was just giving you a bit of a rundown. If you want to know how I felt about this movie, I have to be honest that the more time has sat with me with just in general of today after I finished watching the movie and obviously describe more in my full review, is that it's the same kind of feel that I had with the Oppenheimer where it is a bit long. It really is a bit long for me, and there were points throughout the film where I was like, "Oh, okay, I can really kind of enjoy what it was going for and try." I was trying the whole time just to be like, "Oh yeah," trying to get behind the film, trying to enjoy it. But there's just something about the film where it was like, okay, it's an hour in, then it goes to 2 hours, and then it's like 2 hours 15, and it's like 2 hours 30, then it's like 2 hours 40, 45, 50. You know, it feels like that. That's what it felt like. It's like, oh, that is long. Oh, that's really slow for me. That's like, oh, that's just really, really dragging on a bit. And so that's how I felt about it generally. I'll give you more about a more thorough slash less spoilery because it's not been out for ages on end yet. It's only been out just fairly recently. I think it came out a little bit around the time that this rebranded cinema actually opened up. So overall, that's what I'll say about it. I'll say my rating out of 10 in the full review because this is just a this will be like the first part of the review. Then the full review will say a little bit more. So I won't say like if it's a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 or whatever. I'll say it in that full review because it will make a lot more sense. I'll dig deeper and it will make a lot more sense to have the full review of the rating out of 10 so that it makes it more understandable. It makes you come back, watch a little bit more of my channel, and it makes just that a little bit easier for you. So that's how I felt about the movie. If you guys ever disagree with me about my quick reactions or my full reviews, oh, you're not right about this one, James, I disagree, go ahead and describe why, because this is just my opinion. Movies are made for perception, perspective. Anything can happen with films because you're just like, sometimes with certain films, you're like, that didn't work for me. So hope you enjoyed all this stuff, and stay tuned for the full review that I'm gonna be launching tomorrow during the day. So see you after for more reviews on this channel, and goodbye.